if someone wanted to hop in, I'd be chilling for real, for real. A peep game. Alright, so look about chakras, cause I was just trying to make it for real quick. But what happened was I had my ox cord in. I be doing dickhead shit, which I said. So, anyways, okay, I just wanted to talk about chakras and shit. Like similarities, connectivities, and all that. So, I was thinking about dancing and what I was looking at the fire as I was lighting my incense, like where I'm sitting right now. And the way it was moving, it looked like it was dancing, right? So when I looked at the flame, saw how it was dancing, I started looking at myself, like without the body. So I started thinking about the flame in me and the flame in everyone else, and how that jig, like that be like your solar plexus, right? And I see videos of how, I mean, it's good to make separate videos, you feel me, so you can understand, and then you get it all. But I feel like it can all be done in one, because at the end of the day, that's good, but we can't be showing division, because when we're talking about energy, there's definitely no division in none of that shit. Even in zodiacs, there's no division. It's talking about that 12, but what was that 12? That trinity, because what is the 12? A three, and when the one and the two come together, what does that make? The pyramid energy. But when it connects above and below, what is that? Diamond energy. So A plus B equals C, gamma. And when that gamma energy denotes itself from the UV, because it comes down, that the down, the downward pyramid, downward triangle, equilateral triangle, right? Because that's also a reflection of what? Your DNA. So when they made the reflux or the vortex, or how it would look, some shit like a module of it, if you turn it, tilt it, that's how your DNA really is. It's not really like a squiggly line, like the snake. So in my eyes, the snake represents the pit organ, which is representing your frontal lobe. Feel me? This is pretty much like a pit organ. Feel me? But what does the pit organ do? It transfers infrared light. So from some shit that happened energy because they're seen in energy. That's what the pit organ do. It transfer infrared light. That's really what you can do. Dealing with X-rays from the sun. It's X-ray vision. Superman. You feel me? Anyways, getting back to these chakras. So they're operating in your solar plexus, right? You're dealing with your solar power, your soul. Feel me? But peep game though. At a physical state, actually no, let's get back to it. Alright, so the thing is about being in your solar plexus, you're also operating in your root and your sacral. Because the thing about your root and the sacral is actually a twin chakra. It's a binary system, really meant to be a trisolar system dealing with only those two signs, with the root and the sacral combining, right? Because it works like the brain, but it's just on the flip side. It's a reflection. Like anything below the heart, it's a flip side of above. But everything connects, just like a solar system. You feel me? It's a reflection of it because it was supposed to show you, like the Egyptians and shit. Everything they was writing about was pretty much the energy cycle. Because once you peep the energy cycle, you peep your cycle. Because it's a reflection of you. That's what's going on right now as people starting to wake up. Like low key. Because it's really like manipulation that's going on for real. But like, it's crazy. Like me, I'm operating in my crown. So I see some whole other shit. Right? Like I don't be where niggas be talking about dimensions and shit. It was happening already consciously because of 5D being activated. Uh, Pretty much 5 years, four going on five, because it was really dealing with the fourth dimension. Because the fourth dimension actually, yeah, the fourth dimension frequencies actually activated something in the brain, right? It was the frequency of 1,440, right? But the thing about these hertz, it ties to a date, right? So if the year of the 1400s, feel me? That's what that hertz was tying down to, feel me? So when that hertz was hitting our bodies, because it was already hitting our chakras as a frequency since 2017, it restart, it hit, right? They tried some shit, bro. 2017 definitely started. That's when the 7 year tribulation started. But the thing is, it's going to be a 12-year thing. 9 years, yeah, but like it's a rebirth of the nine still. It just keeps, feel me? It's a rebirth of the nine because our sun is actually a G4 sun. It's a G4, not a G3. Being that it's a G4, that's where the 12 come from. Rebirth of Christ. So now that we're going into the 2,000-year time stamp, it's really imperative that you have your chakras in tune. mentally, you can use this video. I'm gonna try to make one. Uh, it's like you can use your imagination to like get rid of the traumas that if you could picture it and get your brain to perceive it the way it's supposed to be perceived, you can delete it pretty much. Like remove it from detach it from your soul because your soul deals with your imagination, your creativity and all the shit like that. Imagination is some soul shit. For me, it's how you manifest low key if you can picture. So if something's attached, that's what keeps manifesting in your life pretty much. So it needs to be detached while you're going through these cycles because it's already repeating every so-called year. Feel me? Now the energy's getting stronger. You're wondering why you see six conjunctions. I've been saying this shit, bro. It's some 6D shit, okay? That's what I'm saying. We're going into the 2000 timestamp. We're already in 2023, okay? But there's a whole cycle going on right now, and it's going to make a Mandela effect because we're in 2023, okay? What the awakening that's been going on has been from your past life to remove that karma. We're going into a futuristic timestamp now. Is what I'm trying to get you to understand. We're going into a futuristic timestamp, bro. So a lot of shit they was saying it was gonna drop 2070, 2060. That's a fucking hertz. That's a frequency. It's not a year. Okay? Um I need you to listen. Nah, actually fuck that. You don't wanna listen. Don't listen. Hit the like button, share. Feel me? Somebody will. Somebody might appreciate you for sharing that shit, even if you didn't realize. Cause this is what's been going on. You wondering why you seeing the same shit, people coming around. Just then you've been hearing videos saying, gotta watch out for that shit. Feel me? Is happening. You might move, be the same type of people in a whole nother body. To be these entities try to get to you, bro. Cause you have to deal with your karma. Okay? You gotta deal with it. But to remove it is moving in the righteous way, in the balanced direction. 0 point energy. So most of the time you'll realize nature really got your back and your ancestors and these beings that's actually here. That's fucking with you. Feel me? Because when you remove the fear and everything, whatever you were scared of, them entities, bro, you're speaking to them through these bodies. Feel me? Okay? They can't fuck with you. Remove the fear. Because when you hopping in these dreams, when you going into these other realities, when you lie down and rest, you have to be, your aura field has to be lit. Feel me? Remove the fear. It's really the anxiety that everything that ties down to. Feel me? Ask yourself what you want to know. Talk to your melanin, your neuromelanin. Talk to your brain. Talk to nature. And once you clear your mind, you'll be able to pick up. Because the thing about your cells, they pick up on signals, frequencies. That's why you have to know thyself. Because they be trying to get to you, bro. Especially when you know you chosen. You know you chosen. You know you chosen. You know you chosen. Feel me? It's real shit going on right now, bro. Right. Somebody took my book, bro. I'd be very upset. And the only person I could think of is the sheriff that pulled me over. So I was just about to show y'all some Jamaican shit. Let's tie it out to this one. No, I like to speak a little differently. Uh, Stay aware. Like I said, it's summertime. There's some 6D going on, right? So the 6D time lapse, time scale or hertz scale that's coming from the sun and the ground is the 1890s to 1980, and 1980 to 2070, and then 2070 to 2160, right? This is what I'm saying. So between 1980 and 2070, we are, bro, I can't make this shit up, bro. But we are we're in between it. 2023, you feel me? All right. This some real time traveling shit, bro. I'm trying to put you on game. You feel me? Cause if I could teach this shit, then obviously it's real. You feel me? So this is what I'm trying to say. Between 1980 and 21, no, 1980 and 2070, right? That's what we're in between. The thing is, it's a 3, 6, 9, 12, but that 12 is a 3. So that's when you get the 3693. Feel me? Dealing with the clock, okay? Because it has to go around the 360. So the thing about the clock is the compass of the sun. Dealing with the map that we be looking up saying it's fake and shit, right? It's really for the sunspots. So when I be telling you these sunspots, right, or these degrees, I'm telling you sunspots because there's lands under these waters. And when you're dealing with that UV is hitting the land. It's getting to it. It's getting to all these species and all that shit. And it's dealing with their climate. You feel me? So a lot of shit that you thought wasn't here is here. You feel me? Like the go in history, that's what I'm saying. You gotta go in history. Like, you know how people be saying you have to go in history to see what's going on in the present. So when they be saying you gotta go in history to see the present, and I'll be trying to tell you this real live time traveling shit that's going on. This shit be so accurate, bro. So it's like, say it's some shit on Netflix called 1899, right? It's called 1899. So the time scale of 6D or the sixth dimension or six ether, because that's really what we're dealing with, the six ether. That's what I was saying. Well, all this shit, when the six settles on this realm, on a physical state, six ether genetics are going to start activating. That's what anyone was trying to say. That's what Rashad Jamal was trying to say that, but I'm saying it in another way. I ain't trying to say zombies, feel me? But it is a leaking race, right? That's what the Repub leaking came from. It's a leaking race that pretty much shapeshift into werewolves. But in this little hub, right? So some weird shit going on. And that deals with animal genetics and actually dealing with eclipse of the moons and full moons, big ass moons. Feel me? Shit you saw it on TV. You feel me? Because you know there's some Hollywood shit. You feel me? But I'm trying, but I don't think y'all understand what I'm really trying to say. I know I be not expressing. Get at me? I be sometimes I don't get it out the way it's meant for me to get out. Sometimes, but actually, if I'm getting it out like that, then it's meant for me to do that. Fuck. But look, the thing is, bro, like I don't really know too much about a Mandela effect, but I'm a stamp on the shit I say. You know, I stamp everything I say. Feel me? And that's why I say I'm Big Chief, or call me Chief. And feel me? Cause on some real nigga shit, bro, I ain't asked for this shit. But look, I might have forgot. If I did, my bad. But I know what's with me now. Who's with me? And really, self. But not saying that in a selfish way. I'm saying self. Because when you peep what self is, boom, then you peep how they manipulate us. Because the alpha beta system, we taught them, right? I can't remember who said it in this way, but I be hearing a lot of people say it, saying we taught them how to stand up, right? Y'all know what I'm talking about by them. Shit, no disrespect. I'm just telling them how it is. But saying we used to teach them how to stand up, right? And we taught them the alpha beta system. The thing that no one talked about with the alpha beta system is the alpha beta system is actually the universal code. So when you look at the Greek and the Hebrew system, the alphabets and shit, right? Then you look at the Latin. I mean, you can, but most of it deals with the Greek and the Hebrew because it has different definitions, but they match up dealing with numerology and the 369 cycle. So when you see the first scale goes 1 through 10, right? Or really 1 through 9, right? And then it goes to the tens, but it counts 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 type shit. Well, really, it starts off as tens, 20. Yeah, it starts off from ABC. It starts off 10, 20, 30. So it goes from 10 to 90. Or maybe I'm tripping. Either way, you'll see it if you actually look it up. All right, so boom. I might have it in a little balled up piece of paper somewhere. Like, I really get this shit, bro. I know you was. If you got what I was saying. Feel me? If you got what I was saying, it'll make so much sense. And I don't. So look. All right, so say it's like a scale, boom, 1 through 9, then boom. Then it's the tens, 10 through 90, boom. Then there's hundreds, 100 through 900. Count on that scale, and then you got the thousands maybe, but that's like the grand finales type shit. So, because the thing is, as the sunspots go around to 360, it goes into another notch. So I pretty much do that shit every year. It's like 4 beasts that hit or 4 portals gates, feel me? Every year, main ones. Just like the Lionsgate portal is 3 more reflections of itself. So the next one is in October. It's like July, starts off July 27th and then goes into the new moon type shit. So, um, into the new zodiac. So October 27th, it does the same shit. That's where the walk-ins and all that type of shit actually came from, because it ties into the Halloween shit for me. Because that gate really opens up 4 days before Halloween. Okay. And then there's another one January 27th. And then there's another one April 27th. That's when the intensity of the sun going to be going up too. So just remember that if you still going by the Gregorian calendar. I don't even know. I'm going to just say I'm going by the solar calendar or some shit. Or maybe it's the lunar shit. Maybe the Gregorian calendar. Because really, what ties into them Lion Gates portals actually an eclipse. So their little timing, where they be saying eclipse, it kind of be off. So I be thinking maybe that's like a blue beam or some shit. Because the eclipse always ties around the Lionsgate portal, because if they can get it to match up on that date, they got that's how they was manipulating the sun. Cause you say the moon, but they manipulate the sun through the moon type shit, which is like the backside of the sun. That's why where you get the dimming of light. If you ask me, the sun deals with your water, all that shit. So the ozone layer was fake. What is the moon doing? So if the ozone layer was built and fake, when it get removed, what is the moon doing? Or what is the sun doing? Anyways, it's always feminine and masculine dealing with the love language. What is the love frequency? Dealing with the heart. The point is the yin and yang, especially you need to find balance within. For me, the energy that creates light and dark, that's you. It's dealing with a binary system right now that needs to work together. So they're twins, right? Red and blue. When it comes together, it forms that UV. That's what I'm saying. That diamond energy, the pyramid down is going to your third eye, like the avatar. But it denotes, when it comes back up, it denotes a diamond energy, right? Because it goes down and it comes back up like a cycle. So now when it's flowing, that's when it's working together. Feel me? You open up a vortex within. That's what the triangles represent, denoting new energies. Feel me? So when you see it dealing with science and shit, that's when that shit really talking about. And math. Triangle X, it means change and movement. Okay? That's what's going on. But dealing with your chakras though, thing about these CMEs, if you're not really in tune with them, um, or like really paying attention to when they're coming, and say you're in a certain mood, it intensifies that mood. So that's when being in like a peaceful state, a clear mind state, it works. Because then when these CMEs hits, it's like downloads. It's coming in. Really, you just be you. Feel me? It just start coming in. And then it's good to ground with it because your body is the body of the planet too. The air, everything. That's what I'm saying. It's part of your nervous system, literally. Inputs and output making these musical, harmonic frequencies from the body to send out signals and receive them. Straight up. That's what your that's what your uh that's what your body meant to do. For me. So like get in tune for me. Because your solar plexus, like say when your crown, like you can have certain chakras unlocked, but other ones getting backlocked, right? So it makes a little discordance. So it's like once you figure out what got to you, you gotta do a little reflection. You gotta peep what got to you. And however you learn to get rid of it, can't be on that old shit that never worked. That had you right back in the same loop. For me, that's what you're learning as you removing your karma to do it in a more cosmic way. Feel me? A more godly way. So like fruits and shit matches up with your chakras by the colors, right? That's why I was realizing it when I started, and then I started getting confirmations as I'm seeing people rise on YouTube, right? I'm just chilling, my little apartment complex, having my little awakening. Big awakening. I was like, you gotta realize everything around you is alive. Show no disrespect, show love. Sometimes you can forget to acknowledge that, me, because that ties to your throat chakra, the truth. You gotta acknowledge the shit that you do. Because if you don't recognize it, you're gonna keep going through that loop till you do. And most of the time you do, but you're fighting. Because it's tying to the food, most likely. Food has a strong bond because it starts to delete your cells. It actually, say if a signal say a signal got to a group of cells and they was trying to get to the other ones so they can operate the way they're supposed to do, but your chakra clogged the fuck up on the physical state. Feel me? You have to have them rivers flowing. So when them rivers flowing, you can activate. When rivers flow, what do? It creates a current, right? And them currents create electricity, and the electricity create a charge. And you can do this shit to A through Z, because your tetracovalent bonds is actually them A and B's connecting and forming a gamma, because your cells supposed to be tripling by one. Like the ratio, one cell is tripling by three, or is dying out by three, and that's where lysis come from, and the word paralysis. You got para as a word that means one thing. They use that like paranormal, parasites, feel me, all types of shit, etc. And then lysis is actually a medical term that means pathological blood destruction. So the thing that's bad about these clogs, I mean, back then, I guess people got accepted it because they thought, well, okay, when I get older. But you're already mentally thinking you're getting older, and then you're eating shit that kills out your cells because you're not doing the things you used to do as a kid. You were more active as a kid. So when your body's used to that shit, you're gonna be like, okay, yeah, boom. But if you're not being active, your cells are not getting active to get the shit moved. Feel me? That's why niggas' leg problems happening a little bit more, because at the same time as it's dying out, if you have a lot of sarcolactic acid, that ties back to the word sarcove too, right? It's a prefix. If you take out a letter, if you take out the hyphen, it makes sarco. Sarco is a prefix dealing with the flesh. Sarcomere is dealing with consuming flesh, right? So the sun is eating niggas' flesh up. Certain people's, um, they could do the same shit to melanated beings, depending on what's in your blood. Because at the same time, you're absorbing a lot of more energy also. So dealing what's in your blood, it can start to grow at a faster rate as the UV gets stronger and stronger. At the same time, yes, it's a germ detoxifier, but if you're not eating right, it can mutate whatever called like a cDNA. You feel me? It's a little c because it's dealing with your gamma to manipulate your gamma. Because the C stands for gamma, right? So, because that interferes with your third eye. But really, they're trying to interfere with your solar plexus by deleting the cells, because that's deleting the genes. The cells aren't supposed to die. They're supposed to keep reproducing. So say if you were in the sun and you treated it like a plant, treated your body like a plant, you sun gaze for hours, then you go inside, you rest, you have to be in complete darkness. Then you wake up, more energy. The cells are reproducing. You got down vigilant shit. It's just good if you actually have like some type of workout, because you're going to start losing, but you're going to be able to build muscle at a faster rate the way you're supposed to. And your body actually is going to look way different when you're eating fruits. Like, no cap. That's why I can peep that shit. Like, I can admit, say I slipped up, but at the same time, I got some whole shit that I had to prove to myself. So, even though it was proven to myself already, it's just I didn't grow up knowing what the fuck what to expect from this, except for something I saw in the Bible. But I've been kind of realized, if I said I felt like him as a kid and then start reading and see the same shit, it's just a reflection of how your up your your lower self and your higher self. But it's in the master rose in 0 point energy. 0 point energy. But like, feel me? I'm just talking shit right now, but like, let's make America great again. Right? Right? Cause this our shit, bro. It was some bullshit. But if any shift happens this year, because in my eyes, it happens in 2023. The only reason I say it goes into 2024, because September will actually be December. So December will be March of next year, 2024. And then January will be April 1st, which is April Fool's. That's how I see time as of right now. So while we ain't got so-called September on the Gregorian calendar, I'm saying it's June, and summer ain't, it's just starting. They ain't even started yet. Feel me? They got some Pisces shit going on, all these conjunctions, and what's with Mercury dealing with Gemini shit. Virgo is just a 9 of the 6, dealing with Trinities. Feel me? It's a rebirth of the six, the nine. Feel me? Higher energy. So the thing is, whatever ties the six ether genetics, six period time, 6th century, uh, Carboniferous period, um, the Permian period, the Devonian period, any period dealing with futuristic time, because this is one that goes back to this shit already happened. Okay, this is really not even a fucking Mandela effect. It's just you're gonna see this shit already happened as you're already seeing. Right? Damn, I'm seeing what the fuck I'm saying even more. Cause like if this shit didn't happen and we about to go into a futuristic consciousness, literally, at a blink of a fucking eye, we're going into a futuristic consciousness. It's going to deal with we are the two, like the SARS-CoV V2. The V2 is the voltage charge, carbon emission charge to the atoms. That's when the two dots attach itself to the rainbow atoms that you can kind of see floating around when you focus your eyes upwards. It happened 2021, but they started fucking with the carbon emissions. And that's what the sub-zero, that's what the zero is actually for, to make the carbon emissions zero. Feel me? Because if you get that charge, you start to get that charge. Because you are the air that you breathe. Feel me? It's part of your nervous system. So when it happens to that, it happens to that. And then if you're already at a conscious state, connectivity's going. Because whatever they was trying to release, that's going to tie to 2060. They was trying to wait all the way till then to actually come out and say what it was, while people was already saying what it is. I even had my own shit and it came out being the same shit that doctors and other people were saying, like, that was actually trying to figure out the truth. I'm on Clubhouse. When I first had my awakening, I'm talking to 500 doctors at once. You feel me? And I told the truth. And it started with a hemoglobin, which none of them knew about. And I'm sitting there like, how do you not know what a hemoglobin is, even if that's not your field? How do you not know what a hemoglobin is? And that's some middle school shit. Like, yeah, I looked up the definition to get a refreshment, but the hemoglobin is what transport your proteins from your red blood cells to your respiratory system. So when y'all doing studies and saying this shit is cool, and with the spike proteins getting spiked, then niggas eating spike proteins, you feel me? The meats and shit, that's a spike protein. Your plants and your fruits and shit, that creates real what you call protein antibodies. Feel me? It creates, feel me, which helps you create food just from off light and growth. Feel me? Because if your cells not dying, then you just have energy. So when it gets back in tune, just to be like, that's just regular shit. That's you actually healing. Like, we're on a healing physically. It's a healing process going on physically, mentally, and spiritually. But I feel like right now it's more on a physical state now. So we're dealing with the six. But at the same time, mentally, you need to be in tune. Because a lot of shit you tripping about is just a blockage. Feel me? Ain't no point. Feel me? Your emotions, not saying your emotions is tied to your powers, low key. But they're not emotions, they're awarenesses, right? They're awarenesses. But the thing is, it can kind of open you up to other frequencies, and then you saying you're like an empath and you hear people and shit. The thing is, when you know thyself, you you know what's of you. So really, when you're in them situations, you're supposed to be moving like Christ type shit. Feel me? Because if you don't, it starts to build up, and it might can start attach anxiety all over again. And anxiety is what? A blockage. So right, it it fucks up the clairvoyance. Anxiety is the main point because once you tie to something that's under anxiety, it ties you to something else. Feel me? Unless you know thyself and block it. You gotta be peeping shit, because that's the shadow work. Peeping your shadow, right? Because if you really that nigga and they peeping you, they try and get to you. But when you're blocked from shit like that, you're blocked. When you're covered from shit like that, you're covered. And you have to understand that's what you are, because that that increases your life force. And that deals with your chakras. Like your binary system, your brain, that's your crown. And it activates the third eye. Boom. But it to me it's like a comes down and it comes up, because it's already going like this as a cycle. But from the roots coming to the heart, and from up and downs coming to the heart. But then that makes a connectivity. You feel me? It's like the phi symbol, if I'm correct. With the circle, really it's a cough, right? Because a cough, right? I'll make a little draw. Can I draw on this drawing? All right.